see if this is going to work for me. Yay, it's working now. It's the truth of Yogini, and welcome to Feel Good Friday as well as the weekend reading. So, welcome to everyone who has joined the live stream. Now, I pulled a couple of cards, or I pulled like 3 cards prior to doing this session just to get some inspiration and to see where we're going to go with this. Ivan, cool to see you. Oh, Macaroon, you've been busy. Well, I'm glad you're back. Ivan, hey, how are ya? All right. So I pulled 3 cards, and the 3 cards that I pulled, let me just show you these, and then we're going to go deeper into the messages that are coming along with these cards. The first one is, oh no, that wasn't the first one. That was like along the side, and I'm like, I thought I had just pulled 2 cards, and then all of a sudden this other one was like right there. So the first one was go deeper. To me, that looks like that looks like some pot. To me, that looks like some pot right there. But it's called epidote, and so I'm going to go into this one in a second. And then black kyanite, set strong boundaries. Again, to me, that looks like canvas. Maybe that's just where my mind is going tonight. And then the final one, tourmalated quartz. So this is the one that I was surprised that it was there. Get out of your own way. So let's see where we go with these messages. Now, some of you might have been experiencing some different, even physical shit coming up over the past little while. For example, maybe not sleeping well, maybe waking up several times in the night. Maybe you've been getting migraines. Maybe your allergies have been acting up more so. Maybe some digestion stuff has been coming up, or you get some skin issues going on. So this is shit bubbling to the surface that is getting ready to be released. So these are patterns that have been keeping us where we are at now. Take that with a grain of salt, because we've all had some really great growth, right? Especially over the past 2 years. We are definitely not the same person that we were 2 years ago. We're not even the same person that we were 2 weeks ago. We're going through this transformation. And I keep pulling cards that are associated with butterflies, right? And butterflies are associated with transformation. So we're all going through this beautiful transformation. Hey, Mark, how are you? Welcome. I'm just gonna do that. Oh, there. Yeah. So this beautiful transformation, and now we're integrating these learnings that have been happening. The universe has also been bringing us people and situations that are taking us, kind of reminding us of the past. And hey, everyone who's joined in, that are reminding us of the past and bringing it kind of full circle and seeing how we are in a different place and we're going to react in a different place. It could even be people from past jobs, right? Or even new opportunities with old jobs. It could be, people from high school even starting to reconnect, or just situations that are what happened to you. It could be 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is. And it's all coming up and giving us an opportunity to see, hey, Osvaldoro, giving us an opportunity to see that we have come a long freaking way. I should say fucking way. Say it with some power, right? We've come a long fucking way. And we now are gaining that courage, that confidence to be within our power. So going deeper with this card come up, and this is the theme for the day, or for this Feel Good Friday, is let's really let go of those embedded patterns. So this is a lot of ancestral shit that has come through our DNA, and in some cases it's simply the things that you learned as a child, right? And growing up. So we got some of that stuff, but then we got some even deeper stuff that has come through our DNA, some ancestral shit that has just gone from one generation to the next. And you rock. Oh, I love it. Thanks. You have an opportunity now to let that stuff go. Right? We can let that stuff go now. Um, okay, that just reminded me. Is this an SNL skit where, oh, what the heck was his name? Really? This older actor, he ran the TV show that he was most known for. He ran this hotel with his wife, and he did, I think it's an SNL skit where he was a psychiatrist or psychologist or something like that. And he was working with this lady who was saying, I'm an enclosed, I have this terrible reoccurring dream. Hey, is that Clover? Clover Sparrow. Hey, I have this reoccurring dream of being buried alive, and I want to get over it. What should I do, doctor? And he's like, well, just, oh, yeah, maybe it's not as easy as that, except we have the stuff that has been bubbling up and bubbling up. Maybe it is as easy as that now, because as the stuff has been coming up and you've been looking in the past to see where you are now and how far you've come, and now you're making different decisions. You're more so starting to make decisions from your heart. And if you're not, then start that. Because we need to start making choices that are best for us. And you might say, well, that's fucking selfish. But yeah, we do need to be more selfish now. We need to make those decisions that are going to help you be happy, that are going to make your heart sing. And in the end, it ends up being best for everybody. The hunting photographers in the house, too. Cool. All right. So, and now let's go into this other card. So it was set strong boundaries. So this is, I've had some throat stuff coming up. Anyone else else have some throat stuff coming up? I've had a bit of throat stuff coming up. And so that throat stuff is an indication of a healing that has to do with needing to speak my truth. And sometimes it's speaking your truth to yourself, sometimes it's speaking your truth to others, or a combination of that. And to set strong boundaries, you do really need to speak your truth. And I've been noticing situations coming up and go, yeah, that doesn't feel very good. But I've also been noticing that I'm like, let's just see what happens here, because I'm wanting to be an observer, right? And we all have intuition. And so I love it when my intuition is going, yeah, a little bit of a red flag there. Right? I think that that's so cool. So sometimes I'm like, let's see how this plays out, because this isn't feeling that good. But then I've been getting the messages, just listen to your gut and don't waste your energy on that anymore. Right? Like, you don't need to waste your energy on that. So something that I need to do is set strong boundaries for myself, right? Say no. You don't, if you know that is not right for you, that something about that situation doesn't feel good, don't even go there. We all, I'm sure, have better priorities, right? Than to waste our energy on things that are like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this, but and then doing the but, right? But let's see, right? It seems, now I think it's very funny. It seems like, what a freaking waste of time and energy. Just listen to your gut and move along. So set those strong boundaries with yourself, and set those strong boundaries with others. And in some cases, if it's not someone that's already close, it's not, you don't even necessarily have to spend that time and energy to like set those boundaries, right? You could just be like, "Mm, I'm tapping out. That's it. See ya." Right? So you can see how that applies to you. But that definitely wanted to come up. So that other card that came up is get out of your own way. And I feel like, we all have some patterns, such as, and you can see if this relates to you or if it doesn't, and what patterns do relate to you. So maybe you have a pattern of um, thinking small. Like, well, that would be amazing, but most likely that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to think, let's just aim for this, right? Instead of that, which would be awesomeness, I'll just set the bar low so then I won't be disappointed. Fuck that now, right? Because that is that's considered a pattern, right? That's a pattern of you not allowing yourself to spread those fucking wings. I've been swearing a lot today, and you know what, it started on my morning walk. And I was walking with a neighbor, and an f-bomb came out, and I'm like, oh man, sorry, Scott. That I've got, I'm feeling, he's like, are you kidding me? So he said, that's a sign of intelligence. I'm like, I thought that was a sign of not being intelligent. And I said, but you know what? I don't give a shit because sometimes I feel like using a word that has a bit of harshness like that, like fuck or shit or whatever, it comes with power, it comes with energy, it comes with a strong vibration. And so sometimes when what I find is when I'm drawn to saying that, it helps me to stand in my power. It helps me to speak my truth. It helps me to set strong boundaries by so sometimes I need to fucking swear more just so I can set those strong boundaries and not waste my time and energy. So anyways, just wanted to laugh about that one a bit. um okay, so I was talking about getting out of your own way. So uh, what patterns do you have that come up to prevent you from being your best self? Like what do you do to play small? And that's just one of the examples of a particular pattern. Maybe you have a pattern of thinking that you're not enough. And maybe you've been surrounding yourself by people who amplify that thought that you're not enough. And so it's time to walk past that shit. There's the swear word. There's another bomb. This time it's an S bomb. But that's also something that we need to let go of. So, what are those patterns that maybe have been resurfacing through some circumstances, but you can be an observer of it now instead of getting sucked into that pattern? And because once you see the pattern, that's the first step, is just seeing what your pattern is. And once you see your pattern, it gives you power. It gives you power to say, fuck that shit. And you can make a different choice. So I'm drawn to giving you this example. Some of you might already know this story, and some of you might not, or maybe you've heard a portion of it. But I'm drawn to share this story again just to amplify my point. So I've always loved theater, doing stuff on stage, singing, acting, that kind of stuff. I've always loved that. And I had an opportunity to take Second City classes. So learn how to do improv because I wanted to do some team building stuff with the youth that I was working with, and I thought it'd be fun. And but here's the thing: even though I like being on stage and doing that, I if you were to what would happen is if, hey, psychic medium, how are you? If you were to put me on the spot and tell me to introduce myself, I would get a lip quiver and an eye twitch and go beet red and be freaking exhausted after just saying, this is my name. And yeah, because I had a lot of fear of failure, fear of judgment. Hello, new vision. How are you? So fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. So I signed up for these improv classes, and on that very first day, guess what we had to do? We all had to take turns introducing ourselves. So saying what our name is, and why we were taking the class. And there was about 17 of us in the group, and I was the third from the end to go. So I had all these people to I was supposed to be listening and who they were or what their name was. But what was I doing? I was in my head going, What am I going to say? How am I going to say it? I don't look like an idiot. Like I was just freaking out. And by the time half of the people went, and I had this thought, oh, fuck. There's probably going to be some type of name game. And I haven't been paying attention to who these people are. So I started freaking out about that. A lot of anxiety building up within me. And I noticed my lip started quivering a bit. And when it got closer to me, I felt my eye twitching. I'm like, fuck, everyone's gonna see this shit like moving on my face. And so, anyways, when it got to be my turn in the bubbliness that I have, I said my name while I was taking the class, and then I went beet red, and I was fucking exhausted after that. And then I remember saying to myself, Jackie, it's time for you to get over yourself. This is ridiculous. It was nothing I needed to study for. Don't need to be a rocket scientist to say what my name was and why I was taking the course, right? So I vowed at that point, I'm going to get over myself, and that's the key, right? You acknowledge what your issues are, what your patterns are, and you choose to do something about it. But you also, if you're in a place, well, I can't fucking change that, then no, you can't fucking change it. You're gonna stay exactly the way you are. So you also need to have the confidence in yourself that you are powerful enough to make those changes. And of course you are. It might take some effort because every time it's not going to change like that. It's about retraining yourself. And so I've given this example before of, you're riding your bike, and let's say you ride it down the same path every single day, the same path, the same path, the same path, and it's there and back, there and back, there and back. And you start like getting a groove into that path, right? It gets a little deeper and deeper. And soon it's really hard to even get out of that path because you've made such a big groove. So it will take some effort to get that pathway that you're used to taking all the time. But if you notice that you're in that groove again, you can make a different choice and go, okay, oh, I have to get out of here. And it might take some effort. So, what is that effort to get out of that pattern? Well, it's emotional intelligence. And so it's noticing the emotions that are coming up within you, and you name the emotions. So it might be, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm sad, I'm scared, I'm jealous, I feel guilty. Name whatever the emotion is. As soon as you name the emotion, it helps to get the thinking part of your brain back online. Because when you get in that pattern and that those emotions can get ignited, you can get something called an amygdala hijack, which affects the emotional center of your brain. And it's hard to get out of that. But one way to get out of it is you start by naming the emotion. And then you can ask yourself some questions. And again, it helps the thinking part of your brain to get ignited, because when you get an amygdala hijack, you actually lose IQ points. And it's like you're seeing the situation and the person or whatever it is with big, thick glasses smeared with Vaseline, you can barely see what's going on there. And so because you're getting a distorted version of the situation, how are you supposed to move forward in it? Right? Like, how can you can't see things clearly, and you need to see things with a different perspective in order to move past. So you can ask yourself some questions such as, okay, so what am I feeling? So you can name that emotion. What do I want to happen? How am I getting in my own way? And that's a question, right? How are you getting in your own way? How are your thoughts? How are your actions preventing you from moving forward? So let's say you get into a brain loop, right? Of this fucking sucks. I can't get anywhere. Let's say, or you're in a loop of how they suck and they're assholes, or your life sucks or whatever. So let's say you're getting into that loop. So as soon as you notice you're in that loop, because you're asking yourself those questions, you're like, okay, so being in this loop, this is how I'm getting in my own way. How do you get out of the loop? Well, there's different things that you can do, and you can find whatever works for you. So, and I'm going to give you some suggestions. I'm not just going to leave you hanging. Just find it. But so you can try some different things. And maybe it's not going to be the same thing that you do every time, right? Maybe you need something different depending on what the experience is. So, one thing you can do is just try to find a thought that's a little bit softer than the one that you just thought. So, you have to be mindful of your thoughts. What was I just thinking? And then go, okay, what's a different perspective? What's something that's a little bit lighter? How would Jesus look at this? Maybe you wouldn't go that way, but it just made me think of. I'll get back to where I was going, but did God make you do it, Davy? Did anyone used to watch that? Um, that animated like Play-Doh type cartoon. Anyways, watch that on Sunday mornings because nothing else was on Sunday mornings. And that shows my age because we've come a long way with television for sure. Okay, so you can make those thoughts a little bit softer. So instead of like they're a fucking asshole, then maybe instead you could say, okay, maybe they're having a hard day like I am. Like maybe you could start there. You could eventually get to maybe they're just doing the best that they can, just like I'm doing the best that I can. Maybe they got some shit going on at home, right? And even though maybe you might have had that thought the last time this thing ignited, it's okay to remind yourself of that thought again. It doesn't mean you're getting it wrong because you got ignited again, right? Doesn't mean you're getting it wrong. It means it's come up and you're using some tools to try to adjust your thoughts and be okay when you get ignited again and again. Because if you're hard on yourself when you get ignited, you're going to feel like you're getting nowhere. And that is going to run into that record playing again and again and skipping. Other things that you could do, as opposed to just changing your thoughts, is you can distract yourself, just like you would distract a little kid or distract a dog. Don't eat that shit. Right? You can like, here's a ball, here's a treat. Come here, come here. So you can do something creative. You can do something where you can get immersed in it so you're not in the thinking part of your brain. You're in the creative side, you're in that creative flow side. So maybe you like to play music, maybe you like to listen to music, sing music, dance to music. Music I find is great. Now it works for me because I'll play my favorite songs. So I'll have a playlist of really joyful, fun songs, and I will immerse myself in it by either singing, dancing, combination of it. I might clean and listen to the music. Maybe I'll throw in some cannabis in there to make it a little extra fun too, right? And that can help me to distract, to redirect. Um, Sometimes, and maybe you like to garden, maybe you like to work with wood, maybe you like to paint, maybe you like to draw, maybe you like to go for walks in nature, maybe you like to exercise, go for a run. But be careful because sometimes if I'm in a bad space and I go for a run or go for a walk, I might be thinking about the situation and getting into that loop, and then I find I'll stop and go, wow, how did I get here? And I was not in the moment of enjoying Mother Nature. So if you are going to step out into Mother Nature, which could be so healing, so powerful, it's important for you to be conscious of it and ground your feet down to Mother Earth. Go hug a freaking tree, right? Like you need to really connect with Mother Earth. Listen to the birds. Listen to the chattering of chipmunks and stuff. Be conscious, and you might find your brain starts to wander again, and then you can need to bring yourself back in. Maybe you like to cook. And so a way that you can distract yourself is zoning in on that, right? So find ways to redirect. And this can help you to get out of your own way, to create that new pattern. And maybe you get out, maybe one of the patterns, this is what I'm drawn to share. Maybe one of those patterns is maybe you were going to move forward and it was feeling really good. You were really inspired with an idea, with a thought. And then maybe later on that day or the next day or maybe a week later, fears started coming up. And then you stop moving forward. You just dropped it. And so that can be a pattern that's holding you back. So just be aware um, of what is what has been going on in your life in the most recent, like even within the last 2 weeks, different people and situation, last 3 weeks even, people and situations that have been coming up. The other thing that's really important right now is being within our feminine. And so we need to connect in with our feminine side by being patient, because we might be so ready to move forward. Like maybe you are, maybe it's the fear hasn't been about moving forward. Maybe the fear has been because other shit hasn't been happening so you can move forward. And so you're like, come on, maybe this isn't meant to be because it's still not here. Like, what's the freaking holdup? But if you are in a place of trust, then you can just relax into it because the energy had been really building up. But the image that I got with the last yoga class was that uh, it might have been the Tuesday night class. I had the image of being in that kayak. There was a while ago when I had the image of being in the kayak and it was rough water and we were needing to deke around rocks and everything. And but then at the end of what my guides and stuff were showing me is that it came to an opening where the water was calm and where we could put our paddle out front and just glide with it. And just the water was still moving and we were still flowing. That's the stage that we're at right now. So the water has calmed. We're going through this cellular integration stage. So physically, we're going through some stuff, and you might just feel tired. I've been drinking more coffee, even more so lately, and needing feeling like I needed one in the afternoon. And so I've been noticing that. And it's just my body is just more sluggish in that it's needing to it's the integration stage. It takes effort when you're healing. It takes effort. Hey, bearded rock alchemist, how are ya? Um, so we need to be patient with ourselves, patient with ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Because, maybe that trust hasn't been full on there because of delays, because of the slowdown. So don't be hard on yourself there. We just need to get back into that place of trust and be within our flow. So get in you're in your kayak. Have your and if you don't like kayaking at all, maybe you're on a raft or something calm and easy where you can just enjoy the ride. But the reason why I'm bringing in the but is because I don't uh, how do I I'm not getting the right words. Hold on. Be in the present moment. That's what we need. We need to just be in the present moment. Be as present as you can, even when you're eating, and watch the distractions we've been getting because different people's energy could be trying to bring your attention here and bring your attention here, as opposed to you using the energy that you do have to put attention towards the things that really are your priority. What is important to you? Taking the time to shut off your phone. I'm feeling like I need this message is I need to take some time to just shut her down because I can be getting messages, throughout the day, and it can take me here, and and then be like, what was I doing again? So I need to get back into that place of taking some time to shut my phone down for certain times during the day, just to have that break from other people wanting a little bit of a piece of you, right? Wanting a little piece of energy. And I'm not saying that in a bad way at all. It's just we need to be running our own ship in that we set our own boundaries, right? Set your boundaries for when you are going to engage and interact with people. Sometimes I could be like, well, they you know, I usually have my phone. So if I don't respond to people, they're going to think that I'm ignoring them. And then I can be in that place of, oh, I don't want them to think that, right? It's fucking bullshit, though, right? Those are my own perceptions that can put me into that place of guilt, right? So, yeah, fuck that shit. We need to set our own boundaries and run our own shit. Yay! We got some clapping going on. All right, the bearded rock chemist or alchemist. All right. I'm going to pull a few more cards from a different deck just to solidify some of the messages that are meant to come through. And in particular, well, I was going to say in particular for this weekend, but some of the messages I'm sure will be bringing us forward into next week, giving us some insight into what to expect even within the next 7 days is what's coming through. So I'm going to pull cards from my goddess deck because we are needing to tap into our goddess energy, our feminine energy. All right. Everyone's doing well? I hope you're doing well. Feel free to share anything that's been going on. And if you have any questions, you could throw questions out. I love this being interactive. I feel like I've just been talking nonstop. It's just the feed, the channel was just flowing in right from the beginning, which was really nice. So it's been cool. So now feel free, ask questions. If you're drawn to asking me to pull a card for you for anything in particular, what's going on in your life, you can let me know. So what do we need for this weekend or for the next 7 days to assist us in our healing? Okay. I'm going to reveal them in the order that I pulled them. Sorry for the yawn. Okay, so the first one is Kali. Endings and beginnings. Love it. Anytime I pull this card, I just feel so much power from Kali. Kali is, how can I describe the energy? She has a powerful third eye. So you can see the eye right in her forehead. She sees things very clearly and she nips things in the butt. And that's the message that was coming through loud and clear for me today is like, don't fucking waste that shit. Nip it in the butt. What does that say? That was a good message. Definitely touch base on for me. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. So the old must be released so that the new can enter. So the universe is giving us these situations where we don't need to take years to finally do something about it anymore. We don't need to take weeks or days to do something anymore. We can just end that shit right away because we have a strong intuition. So it's about trusting that gut and don't waste your energy and move along. Okay? So she has a beautiful lotus flower and it is vibrant, it is bright. And what I love about this lotus flower, I'm so sorry guys. I tend to do this as uh, I'm I'm reprogramming. And I've I think the past several Feel Good Fridays, I've had the yawns, and it happens during, and it's part of my cellular reintegration as I because I'm getting these messages for myself too, right? Okay, so this lotus flower has red, orange, and yellow. So it's the first three chakras. So from your root and your passion going into your creativity, your joy, your fertility, your abundance, your sexuality, and going into your solar plexus, standing in your power. So really big healings. And remember, I mentioned ancestral healings, like healing those patterns that were deeply embedded in our DNA. We are releasing that shit. And a lot of us have gone through a lot of shit, right? And so we're helping to clear that. Now, the lotus flower, it comes from a mud puddle. We've all been in the muck. We've been deep in the muck, gone through so much shit. And, some of us have had physical, mental, emotional, spiritual traumas, right? Some of us have had traumas through relationships, maybe a trauma through um, an outside incident, right? Like it could have been a natural disaster. It could like something to do with the environment. It could being at the wrong place at the wrong time, right? It could have traumas like financial traumas, things with career. There's so many different things that we could have gone through, and we don't need to compare our trauma to someone else's trauma. Like, well, other people have gone through worse stuff. Who gives a shit about that? We've it doesn't matter, right? We've all gone through traumas. And so we've gone through the muck, and with every experience that we've had a beautiful learning. Is that Dana? Hey, Dana. We've gone through a beautiful learning. Now, I do. I have a little TV show on Rogers called Oxford Schoolgog Life, and I had an interview today that's going to air next week with Kimberly Black and her husband Rob Tardick. And Kimberly was brutally assaulted. It was total random. She was going for a walk where she normally does and didn't have her cell phone, and she was assaulted and left for dead. And she her jaw was broken in a couple of spots. She had a cracked skull. um she was found like 14 hours later fighting for her life. And so she had to go through huge healing, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So did her husband, right? Her husband needed to go through, so the trauma doesn't always have to happen to us. We can have like secondary trauma based on what someone else has gone through. And they have come such a long way and are such a beautiful inspiration. And they are so joyful, with them, what they've gone through. They are in a beautiful place and are now helping other people to heal, helping other people with their mental health, so they can move forward in their lives. So they're sharing a beautiful gift with what they've gone through. So they've had brilliant learnings. And so we've all had brilliant learnings. That is what is the lotus, and that you are, right? You're in new beginnings now. So as things come up in your life, um, you are now facing them with okay, the wording they're giving me is a new set of eyes. Is because we in essence, yes, we have a new perception because we don't have the distortion. We're not necessarily wearing those thick glasses that have been smeared with Vaseline that I mentioned before, right? So we have a different viewpoint. And they're showing me right now, seeing, if you're out in space and you can see the Earth from space, you get a broader viewpoint about a situation. So it can show you how things are really just so small. And when we look at things from a different perspective, we can have less stress in our life, less anxiety. And you see how there's like an eclipse going on with that moon. So before, we couldn't see things very clearly, right? Things were kind of muddied. Hey, SGM. Yeah, new leaf. New leaf. Absolutely. Oh, that reminds me of a card that was pulled. I think it was on Wednesday. It had all these leaves coming down. And just like in the fall, the trees lose their leaves. So it's out with the old. And now we're in spring, at least here in Ontario, Canada. We're in spring now. And so we have new growth, new buds, a new leaf, right? New outlook, new beginnings. And so we're letting go of the old. So out with the old and in with the new. So let's see what the next card is that I pulled. Diana, focused intention. Yay, spring. Yeah. Focused intention. I I really like this card. This card, I probably say that with every single freaking card. But this card, it has power to it as well. This is like the power to create. And she has her bow and arrow, right? And so moving forward now, these new beginnings, we need to have focused intention on what we want. What do we want to create? And trust that we are creating that. Trust we are going to achieve that magnificence. Okay. We are going to achieve. And we don't remember how, if you were here from the beginning of the stream, I was also mentioning on don't think small. I should only go for this because even though I really want that, I could probably only go for this. So I'm just going to focus here. Say, no, focus your intention on that, but trust how it unfolds because you might start in a position or with an opportunity that's not quite there. It might be here. So it's pretty good. Maybe not exactly what you're looking for, but trust in the path because that path is going to be bringing you where you really want to go. It still might look a little bit different than what you thought, and you'll learn that as you're going through your journey because your perception will change as to what you want. Right? You might think now like this is awesome, but really you could have this. And so the universe wants to bring you to that point where you can accept the most awesomeness in your life. So trust in the journey, trust where you're flowing. And don't be so wrapped up in the way things really have to be in order to be okay. Right? We can have a perception. I've mentioned this before about things need to look this way in this box. And like, no, we got to break down the walls of that box and be really open to how things can look, but have an idea of what would make you feel good. I just want to see what that says, SGM. It reminds me of Diana, Princess of Wales. Oh, Princess Diana. Yeah, the name, when I think about Diana, I do think about Princess Diana too. Her tragic end, right? But her energy is still there. She's probably already been reincarnated, actually. So the message on the card says keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. So trust that you will get there. All right. The next card is Austera. Fertility. After I go over this card, well, even you can mention it now. If you're wanting me to pull a card for you, if you have any questions, let me know. So you can put those into the chat if you'd like that. Okay, so Austera, fertility. I love it because this is such a spring card, right? We got some bunnies there. She's got some Easter eggs, and Easter is around the corner. And so it really is a time for celebration, and in that it's the excitement of what's to come. Okay, so this is what's coming through. When I think about celebrating Easter with my kids, especially when they were little, you know, It was fun getting the different things for them for Easter. It was fun thinking about the Easter egg hunt that they would end up going on, and feeling the excitement, and helping each other out, and and then in some cases, what we would do is have clues around the house, and I would fill their Easter basket with the big treats, and all that, the big bunny, and the marshmallow bunnies, like, and have a basket all ready, but have it hidden. And then they would go on a scavenger hunt to find that basket. So sometimes there'd be clues, or maybe it would just be hidden, right? But it was always excitement of what they might find and how many eggs they might collect, and then counting them after and splitting them all up, and a lot of excitement. And the unknown was there, right? There was always that unknown factor of what you might get. And so that's the type of energy that we can really harness right now, is the excitement of what's to come, and trust that gifts are coming. And all different colors, different opportunities. Just trust that those gifts are coming, because the universe wants to shower gifts upon you. Cornucopia gifts. That's also another card that has been coming up a lot lately. I can't remember exactly what card that is, but I'm seeing it's the goddess card. And it has a cornucopia of like gold coming out. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. So um, the energy is going to build um, abundant energy is building towards Easter, and going beyond Easter is what I'm getting. Yet, we're still that energy of that abundance. It's like there's a few energies that are, well, several energies going on, but that abundance energy is building. Yet your physical body and what you've been experiencing, like right now, we're still on that. I'm on my kayak and floating right now, and just going with the flow. So that part is a little bit slow, and you might not be seeing signs even over the weekend of things picking up, but still be in that place of trust. And okay, what they're showing me now is, as you're on that ride, you're going to start to see some Easter eggs, right? Those colorful Easter eggs. You might just get a glimpse of one, and you're like, was that an Easter egg? Like, you'll get some little signs that will help to start building that excitement up. Okay. So yeah, be open to those Easter eggs, those gems of surprises that will be coming to you. Okay, so does anyone want me to pull a card for them, or anything like that? You can share whatever you want to share. You can ask any questions. We can see if anyone wants to go that way, and if you don't, that's okay. And I can always just wrap it up. Oh, I'm gonna get an affirmation. I think those cards are over there. Okay, I'm gonna see if it's in here. Hmm. Oh yeah, they're here. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna pull an affirmation card from my FN Badass affirmation deck. These came from a very creative lady from Oshawa, Ontario. This is what they look like. Yeah, I take it the wording is going to be backwards on you, but it's the FN, so letter F and then apostrophe N, badass affirmation deck. All right, so let's see here. Woo! Okay, you're not getting one affirmation, you're getting three affirmations. One or more of these affirmations will resonate for you. And whatever ones resonate for you, say it out loud, say it strong, maybe write it out several times. Maybe if someone is around you and you can't say it out loud, say it in your head several times or journal about it, right? All right. So the first one is I'm I'm a badass. I've got this shit. Okay? So whatever you're going through, whatever you're wanting to create in your life, you got this shit. You are a badass and you're going to make it happen. All right. The next card is I'm so fucking grateful for my life. We need to be in gratitude for what's going on right now because what's going on right now is evidence of where you've come from and where your energy has been as to what you're experiencing right now. And it's a springboard for where you're going. You needed to get to this point in order to get to where you're going. So be in gratitude. It's great where you are. For some reason, this is meant to be. So let's be in gratitude for where we are because it's taking us to where we're going. And the next one is I am fucking fabulous. So I think we can all relate to that. We all need to say that to ourselves. Okay, everyone, all together. I am fucking fabulous. And then what was the next one? I am so fucking grateful for my life. If you didn't say that, you can say that now. I am so fucking grateful for my life. And the other one, if you haven't said this, say it loud and say it proud. I'm a badass. I've got this shit. Okay? I'm a badass. I'm a badass. I've got this shit. You can say it however you want. Okay, SGM, we can read words orderly. Orderly. There is no mirror image. Oh, okay, good. I'm just seeing the mirror image. Anyways, it was looking backwards for me. So I'm glad you can see it a-okay. So does anyone have any questions? Are we done? If anyone doesn't have any questions and you're good, then that's it. I hope everyone has an absolutely fabulous weekend. And if anyone is looking for a one-on-one session, um, basically so I had two things going on in my head and I could get them both out of my mouth at the same time. So the one thing I want to mention is I have group yoga classes, but I can take on up to two potentially. Yeah, I could do two one-on-one yoga clients. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you live locally, I can either come to you or you could come to me, or if or we can also do it over Zoom depending on where you are in the world. But I also have the group sessions, right? So if you want to join the group sessions, I have several classes, different times that you can choose from. You can join my tribe. All of my yoga sessions are very intuitively driven in that I don't know what I'm going to do before. I will pull at least one card prior to the class to see the theme and feel the energy. And then I'll choose solfeggio frequencies or different types of music to help with the healing and the messages that will channel through during it. And we'll work the chakras that we need to have assistance in to help move the energy. So it's very much intuitively guided. But I also have the one-on-one sessions where we do a channeled reading and healing, and it can be energetic healing too. So if you're local, then you can go on the Reiki table and I'll do that healing. If it's over Zoom, you will still receive energetic healing during it from the energy that I'm sending you during the session. And it's also through the words, the vibration of the words that come through the channeled messages. So if you're interested in any of those things, you can check out my website, thejoyfulyogini.ca. You can also send me a DM. And I hope you have an absolutely fabulous weekend. From my light to your beautiful, amazing light. If you don't know what namaste means, it's basically I am recognizing and honoring the beautiful light within myself and honoring and recognizing that beautiful light within you. And I truly am in gratitude for having these beautiful connections and being able to share in this healing at the same time. Heath is in the house. Hey, Heath. So came in by the end. But anyways, I'm glad your energy popped in here. It's nice to share in your gorgeous energy. So from my light to your beautiful, amazing light. Namaste, everybody. I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube peeps first. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your weekend. Bye. All right.